welcome everybody to the Natural Ones. We're here, and we're super excited to be back. I mean, Chris and I just actually had like an actual day off, so
kind of. I was really bad at actually.
Yeah.
Taking the day off.
Yeah. I don't know. I was good. I did well.
Yeah, you were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could walk away from that really easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're super excited to be back telling the story again, and we're gonna just kind of jump right into it. Just remember, we saw our heroes kind of like journeying through the forest. They were making their way, trying to find any sort of bronze wolves encampment, or just in general finding people in what they suspect and are very close to positive is the forest of Engmar. As a giant purple worm just rockets out of the ground, and they are now surrounded by people, by humanoids of the forest, wearing this sort of like wolf hide armor, all with like this kind of like wolf helmet kind of design motif to it. As the worm bursts through the ground and sort of its jaw just the it seems like it's in this perpetual state of like breathing, but with each breath as the mouth opens you see just like the score of teeth that journey through the entirety of its body into the dark nothing that you can't see. It's every like every like foot increment there's just a new rows of teeth. Sort of like a shark. They're not saying anything just yet. They're kind of just looking at the four of you and Panther and Pangolin, and I believe Turklet is with you? Yeah, that's what I remember.
Nameless, what do we do?
I don't know. I don't think we can win, though.
Yeah, that seems like a fair assessment.
The six around you have, various weapons. Like some have spears, some have scimitars and things, but they all kind of seem to be pointed and trained at all of you, and they're taking very small steps in. It's very concentrated, and they kind of move in a circle in unison. They're just kind of all... It doesn't seem like they're... Again, it just seems like a defensive position. They're just kind of holding the line and continuously keeping you all in view.
Maybe we should try talking to them?
You said there were 3 on top of the worm?
Yeah.
Can I look to see if I can figure out some sort of power hierarchy between the people here? Is there one who seems to be calling the shots?
Give me an insight check. Just kind of like check out body language and stuff.
10.
They don't have any visible markers. There's nothing like the leader is in gold or something like that. Like nothing. They all kind of have. It seems to be uniform. The person, one of the 3 riding the worm, the actual one like controlling the worm, seems to have, if you were to guess, seems to be the one kind of directing everything. Because the 2 behind the one who's actually controlling the worm are like in a brief discussion with each other, but that driver is still looking at everything going on. So I should also note that like there is like you can't see their faces. It's sort of like shrouded. The helmet comes in, but then there's also like a veil, like mask, like so you can see their eyes and that's it.
Does it look like any of the people that we saw before?
Those were different. They didn't have the same armor.
Did they have anything similar, like weaponry, markings?
I
necklaces?
mean, like similar clothes, similar weapons for sure, but that's just the nature of weaponry, you know.
There was no markings on them.
Well, there were, but you know,
That's,
like,
I'm saying on these people, is there any that like are similar to those?
it's conjecture at best for you. Like, if you want to talk about like, are these the same people? It's conjecture.
No.
But
They're
like, if
not
it's
the
the
same-
same group, that's a little bit closer.
That's what I know. They're not the same people because I killed them, but I would like to know if it's from the same group of people.
It's hard to tell. They're wearing completely different things. They
Okay,
don't have
that's
like,
what I'm asking. Yeah.
They don't have a distinct marker. No.
I'm
Because
gonna.
neither did the last group either. They didn't have like a very specific. They were all, their armor was all the same. The last group that attacked you, but it's like, yeah, it's not the same as this.
I'm gonna ready dodge, and yeah,
Okay.
basically just watch.
So, does anybody else want to ready anything?
Yeah.
Okay. As you, I'm sorry, Chelsea. It looked like you were about to say something.
No, I'm just anxious.
Okay, all right. After a good minute of silence, you see the one driving sort of flick of the wrist, and the ones surrounding you, and they like stand. They don't have their weapons at you anymore, but you can see that they are still a hair's breadth away from being able to attack. And sort of booming voice, thaumaturgy style, you see, you hear from behind the mask of the driver, "You trespass."
Yes. We didn't know though. I was following the leaf.
"You trespass in the forests of Engmar. You knowingly do this. Do not lie."
I didn't feel like I was trespassing.
She did feel like all of us were.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. She's like,
The rest of
well,
us
I'm
are
supposed to
definitely
be here,
that.
so like...
the rest of us are definitely trespassing.
They're with me.
So
Are
they
you on the list?
they direct the worm to the ground, and they step off. The other two stay on top of the worm, and it's not. It still has that like breathing, as if it's waiting to eat, right? Like you're like nameless. You're getting a very real sense from the creature of this like hunger for something. But as they step off, as the driver steps down to you, says, "Oh." Looks to Panther, looks to the four of you. "You are definitely trespassing. We know of you." "Yes."
Maybe you could share who you are too then.
"That is not for me. You will come with us, one way or another. Which will it be? In chains? Or dragged?"
Could we just walk?
In chains.
Can it just be me?
No. If it's just you, your friends' lives are forfeit.
Oh, I don't want that. You can take us all in chains, then.
Honestly, the fact that she said that is remarkable character growth.
Very well. Kind of nods to the other 6. And they either sheath their weapons or just hold it to the side as they wrap you all in their bindings. And as Liam, as they clamp onto your wrist and you kind of like feel it, it's not metal. It acts very similar to metal. You can feel the resistance and you can tell it's just some highly refined stone. You can't tell if it's magical just by looking at it, but there definitely seems to be some sort of wonkiness to it.
Alright. Wonkiness, got it.
It's a very artificery term.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not really good at making decisions. So I hope that you all are okay with that. I was trying to seem authoritative.
Yeah, that seems fine.
As I put you in shape, go ahead.
You did great. Honestly, I don't. I mean, it was either this or they kill us. Well, maybe not kill us, but drag us, and I'm not in the mood for that today.
I'm not a fan of cancel culture.
Good job.
See, I went with drag queens, so I imagined us getting, like, made up.
Oh, wow, that's way better.
Anyway,
Huh.
to the really tense situation here. You, as you're all put in these bindings, they look to Pangolin. Trying to decide how they would do that. They look at it as if it's like, again, all you can tell is their eyes, but they kind of continuously glare at it and just look to you all, just trying to figure out. The leader then says, which one of you does this belong to?
Oh, that's me.
It stays here.
How far are we going from it? He gets separation anxiety. I'd hate for him to, like he's very well trained, but when I'm apart, sometimes he makes a mess. I don't want that for your forest.
He's his therapy human.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Cool.
I was gonna throw my service animal excuse in there one more time, but you got it, Philip.
It's Pokey. Oh no, Pokey's back in the mansion.
Oh, Pokey. Yeah, I didn't bring Pokey into here.
23.
20.
Hey.
All right.
He's got like a soft spot for pets.
The leaders. It will sit outside the gates.
Fair enough.
Okay. And as they look to Panther, you will retain yourself. And you see that, like, just kind of silently agrees. March. And as you walk by the worm, You see the leader stop, place their hand on it, whisper something, and at that moment, the form breaks and starts to contract. And the two people on top have, like, jumped down, and he says to the two of them, make sure she gets back safely. And he starts to lead you on. As you march towards the town...
Wait, hold on. What does it become? It just becomes a smaller version of the thingy?
I was
Or is
about
it
to
a
tell
person?
you. I was about to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Like, trying to kind of keep your eye on it as you leave, it is smaller. It's a humanoid form. Very similar to an experience you have gone through. You can see that there are parts of their body that are still scaled, and there is still parts of the form that are trying to coalesce back into what they used to be, but they are laying on the ground unconscious, and that's what you see as you leave. The march to the town is, again, it's about an hour, and it is as silent as you want it to be. Do you guys have anything that you would like to discuss along the way? There are people surrounding you, but, like, they're not being very, like, decisive about saying no talking or anything like that. They haven't given you the impression anyway. Then it is silent as you march into it. As you break through a tree line, about an hour later, this wrapping of like a root system is intertwining into these sort of like infinite strands, or not strands, but like infinite braids of tree. Like, it's all different kinds of trees. It's this oak, you can see ash, you can see yew. It blends together into these very distinct braids. And it goes as high, it stands 50 feet high. And it seems to be coming from the tree line itself and kind of growing outwards. And it connects to the other side of this clearing, right? This whole clearing itself is probably 2 miles long, and this braided branch goes in a sort of semicircular, right, kind of all, and on these 2 points is the forest. There's a little river that kind of goes right below the braids, breaks through, and goes southward back towards the forest. There are no gates, there are no doors, there's nothing, and as the group of you step up, the leader places their hand on the branches and the braids, and at the point where they're touching, they uncurl to create a doorway, pushing you forward into this, this city. And as you enter and get to the other side, it's about like 10-15 feet long before you're actually inside the town. So as you're walking through these like branches untwined above you or the rest of the braids, and it just seems like it's a bramble, but a bramble made of these giant roots of a tree. Stepping through, the architecture on the other side is sort of a mixture of you can tell that there were rotted trees, or maybe not rotted, but definitely fallen trees that have been manufactured into a home, as well as some other places that have just been sort of scavenged, foraged wood, and it's a lot of simple structure, but with a very tight-knit architecture too, like like tight-knit, what's the word, like thatch work to it as well. Like everything seems to be expertly placed, nothing seems to be run down or worn. Even some of the huts that are just like straw on the roof, the straw doesn't look old or decayed, it has life. It seems like the things around here kind of retain some form of health, even in being placed as like housework. They kind of continue to cart you through, and you see dozens of people kind of walking around doing their own business, children, and there are several animals as well. There's hawks, there's various types of birds, various types of large cats, small cats, big dogs, little dogs. Like, this is a crazy sort of animals are running free, doing whatever they want kind of atmosphere. Like, seems like they can come and go as they please. And they direct you towards there's a tree. There's this tree at the center of this town, or this village, that bears a striking resemblance to the tree at the mansion. And they direct you towards this main center tree, and they kind of, as gently as people who have you in chains can, kind of like force you to your knees. Unless anybody resists, they are trying to push you to the ground in front of this tree. That was a lot of explanation and exposition. Sorry, if you have any questions, go for it.
Yeah, no, I'll kneel of my own accord, I think. Just like on the, like I'm kind of hard to shove, so I imagine like I'll.
It's that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's not gentle, but it's definitely not like we're gonna hit you in the back of the knee or something like that to force you down. It's more just like it's a hand placed on a shoulder to try to like direct you more than anything.
Okay, yeah.
So if you take direction, then it's not super forceful.
Yeah. Okay.
The leader steps in front of all of you and says, "You will wait here, and they will come, and they will judge you."
Who?
Those that will judge you.
Right.
What are we being judged on?
If you get to live.
Do I see any iconography related to any of the gods associated with the Feywild as we move through this area?
I'd say give me a perception check. Just attempting to kind of like see if there's any.
Hey.
You'd recognize symbols if they're there.
16.
Sorry, I just got really warm in my room.
No, it's okay. I'm trying to think. There'd be a few examples. You definitely see, but it's not like anything related to the village. It seems like a couple people are walking around with like these like leather bands of that like have like a symbol of saloon, and you see a couple other people walking about who have the Balinor. You'd see not that saloon is like part of the Feywild necessarily. She's not, but
It's still good to know, though.
it's you'd also see a couple of people with ROI as a like on a just sort of like these pendant necklaces that have her symbol on them.
Okay.
As you are moving through the town as well, you know, everyone eyes you with suspicion. They seem very secretive, and as you walk through, they kind of like give a wide berth. So the leader of the group that brought you here gestures to the rest of them. 2 of them stay on the sides of you, but then the rest make their leave. About 10 minutes go by as you're waiting. And you see on the tree itself, which is in, since it's spring, it's starting to actually blossom into its, and a sparrow comes and lands at a branch. And then a hawk above it. The deer kind of very gently steps next to the base of the tree. A badger that comes out of a burrow. And a wolf comes from below the tree to come sit. They all kind of sit in front of you. They all just look. They're...
Do you think they're gonna like ask us questions, or is this one of those silent animal look inside your heart judgments? It's a serious question. I know it sounds very silly. Liam is serious and means it seriously.
Yes, I know.
I don't know.
The hawk sort of gently floats from its perch and comes to rest next to you, Liam, like directly in front of you, and just looks into your eyes.
I.
Yeah.
Sure.
I.
Alright, out of character. What Liam's not gonna say is just like lean forward, like, do you need to see the other one too? Will that help? Was that doesn't do it. He's had enough of those
He's
bits.
like, I don't think that's a good idea. And as it kind of just lands back on its perch. The badger comes up to you, Philip, and it just kind of like turns.
Oh, I feel bad. I don't really bathe.
The sparrow comes down to you, Setlali, It sits on your shoulder. And it kind of like... There's a moment where it like gets towards your neck and it goes... With its little beak.
Ow.
Oh, she's not a tree. Alright. Glad we figured that out.
The deer steps up to Flanagan.
Flanagan just gives him one of these. Just...
Hello. I see you come around here often. No, the deer actually goes up to Nameless, is what I was thinking.
Oh.
It was just, the deer comes up to you, Nameless. And it kind of... Oh boy, here she comes. Get up here. Come on, do it. Do it!
I was like, what is this?
I thought the
wolf?
I saw
I
the
thought
ears.
the deer was
I
I just saw the ears
Yeah.
poke up.
Yeah.
She's decided not to come on the table.
But the deer extends its neck to you, Nameless. Just kind of looks you up and down. And then goes back. And the wolf steps to Panther. Oh my god. Just choose. we gotta make sure we don't get canceled on Twitch or like we don't get a
Yeah.
no cat buttholes on our stream. The wolf steps up to Panther. And as it does, a very low growl begins to form. And like the hackle raises. And Panther starts to like in kind respond. And the growls from the two of them grow louder. And it, like the wolf huffs at him and turns around, goes back to the tree, and sits. From the wolf, our consensus will begin. First, you state your business. Speak!
I lost a friend and I was looking for him. And I wanted to know more about you for selfish reasons. I have this, and I wanted to know why I felt connected to it.
The deer. She does have a certain air of her. Familiar. Certainly of us. Strong mind. And the hawk. Her friends as well do not seem harmful. At least, not yet. The badger says, well, I think we should just get rid of them altogether. Regardless of intent, they trespass through our lands. The forest of Engmar is not for them. The sparrow. Well, it's certainly not for them, but maybe we don't immediately go to bloodshed, Baru. I think they have different intentions. They seem lost. And the wolf speaks back. They're not lost. They know exactly where they're going. And they know exactly who they're with.
I don't know who I'm with.
Where am I? What year is it?
Specifically, the person who seems to cause the most offense is the person that I, at least, know the least about. Like, just my friend's dad.
So the wolf says, "Who do you seek? Speak plain."
Eric. And I guess you. Oh.
It has been a long time since I saw Wolfhaven.
Well, here I am. But I don't go by that anymore.
Matters not. And I wasn't talking about you. Kind of
That's
looks
fair.
to Panther. You were told in no uncertain terms to never come back here. And he sort of... Yeah. And we pay the price for our actions, don't we, Sarek? He looks back to you, the wolf looks back to you, nameless. What would you do if you found who you were looking for, Herrick? What do you gain by knowing where he is?
I mean, no offense to Panther. He was my dad. He took care of me. I just want the family that I have now to be a part of the family I had then.
A child's obsession, of course. And the
Yeah,
deer.
I am. I am a child. I know, but it's all I know. Someone took away my mom from a very young age. Someone took away my dad from a very young age. So I am so sorry if I want that. I am.
Your parents'
aware.
decisions took them away from you.
I did not blame anyone. I said someone.
And I have given you the someone.
Great. I don't want any blame. I just want Herrick. That's all I want. And I would like if my friends could live.
And the hawk looks down and says, "You desire Herrick for only the reason that He's family. It's hard to believe, knowing where you and your friends have stopped us before.
I don't know anything about that. Honestly.
You don't know of how you stopped us in Korham.
Well, no, I know about... I don't know how Herrick's involved in that.
And the deer speaks. I believe her. There doesn't seem to be dishonesty in a lot of them. She doesn't seem capable of it. And the wolf says, it matters not. It seems as though your lovely panther has not told you everything. Has he?
I know what I need to know. I think.
We are here to protect the forests of Engmar. That has been our way for centuries. Eons. But what happens to the world? We could no longer stand by. Nations war over petty material. We destroy it. Everything. So, we step in to provide balance. And you, he directs the you at Panther. You cost us dearly. You and Adelaide.
What was happening? Korhal almost started a war. Was that intended, or did you not think about the consequences there?
Yes, it was intended.
How much destruction of the land would have happened if two of the largest nations in the world had gone to war there?
Some sacrifices are acceptable. We can rebuild land.
They can rebuild empires.
Then we'll topple them again. The world exists through chaos. The only way we survive is through our own choices. Free men. Free peoples. Your own choice is what dictates everything. We want to give that power to the world. Panther steps in. You cost a lot of lives. I don't even remember half of what we did. But I know it wasn't the way that we should. He says, you will bite your tongue.
Anarchy is only freedom for the strong.
So say the weak.
I ain't weak. I just don't not care about people when they are.
There's like this toothy grin to the wolf's face. He says, would you like to test the theory?
I already
No,
died once recently.
And the badger seems to get, and he's like, you see? You see, they only want violence.
We want violence? We want violence. We're the ones in chains. We stood there while you surrounded all of us. You want to know what violence gets you? More violence, but we are not going to be part of the problem. You almost started a war. Do you know what that is like? Do you know what it's like to see that destruction?
The sparrow sort of gently floats. For one so young, a lot of things seem obvious. Or the hardships are very easy to pinpoint. We have seen our share of war and destruction. Been the cause of it. Been the saviors of it.
Did it fix anything?
What does inaction get you?
Not war isn't inaction. Peace is a choice. Striving
choice.
to make the world better is a choice, is action.
But peace requires actions from both to be sane. It requires the same move to be played by both parties. If one party is not willing to make peace, continuing to do a same action with the exact same result is lunacy. We have
Is that not what you're doing?
the wolf. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt y'all's argument, but you're just constantly attacking places. Is that not the same thing over and over again?
And the badger speaks and he says, "Look at what we attack!
Right, I understand.
Places where people don't respect the land. They don't think. They
Yeah,
don't
but
care
have you
for
seen
it.
a lot of change. Has a lot changed? Have the people learned?
Well,
Has
maybe if some
everyone
people-
miraculously become smarter about saving the world? I don't think so. So maybe it's not the action you should take.
There are places in the world where people do respect the land. Is that because you attacked them? We passed by a town fairly recently that seemed totally at one with the forest around it. Was that your doing? Or was their respective nature found because that nature there respected them?
Trying to think of who would respond to this. The sparrow has kind of like flitted back up to the tree as the deer steps. While there are many places that we have never entered that could very well be living within the means of the natures. Living within means of nature. Far greater are the number of those who decide to do the opposite. For personal gain, for power. We'll go Philip and then we'll go Setlog.
Do you think the people of Core Hall were the ones responsible for those decisions? The people, the ones who actually ended up suffering? How many of them do you think were really a part of the decision-making process behind the way that Core Hall functioned?
The wolf speaks up. We are all slaves to our actions. They decide to live there. They decide to participate in that. They forfeit their right.
So if someone there wanted to live peacefully with the land and respect nature and wanted a place to do it, would you let them come live here? Or would you treat them as an outsider, chain them, and threaten to kill them? Because it would be a hassle to trust their intent. Because then they don't have a choice. Then
Words
they're a
are
slave to your
words,
choice.
actions are different.
Well, then it may help to know that she was observed by Balinor. If you question her intent, I think his approval would speak
Well, I
volumes.
told you that in confidence.
You did.
So it's not yours to tell.
It's fair. And I apologize.
So loud. You wanted to say something.
The point we're trying to make is just because you think someone doesn't respect the land or respects it in a different way does not mean that they do not respect it at all. Your way is not the only way. My way is not the only way. That's what makes this world great, is that we're all different. But you attacking Korhal? My friend lost a very important person there. And it devastated them. And I have never seen them act that way before. And it broke my heart. And that does not happen often. You want to talk about respecting the land? Well, guess who has to respect the land? The people. And if you don't respect the people, then that land's just going to sit there and die. You do things your way, but the actions that you are taking are not the actions that need to be taken. You're killing people. That is not the response. Trust me, I know.
And the hawk says, so, in this world, we have only to make peace forever.
Oh,
You're dealing in what ifs.
Everything's a what if till it isn't.
We don't deal in what ifs, we deal in what is.
peace doesn't mean not resisting. The creation of the place that we're in now, the way that all of this functions, the way that life comes into being, all of it is born from sacrifice. Maintaining peace doesn't mean strictly non-violence. Maintaining peace means using force to single out the bad actors and to provide an example for the ones who maybe misunderstand, for the ones who may be subject to the whims of those above them. I firmly
and we
believe
want to
that
break those bonds. The bonds of servitude.
if the servants die with them, you haven't freed anybody.
And the wolf. Acceptable losses.
Did you win? Are they all free now?
They might have been.
The losses there were the entire town.
I also see
What was the gain? What did you gain? What could you possibly have gained?
Strength.
No.
Yes.
Here's the problem with what you're saying. I agree. I do think that people treat this world terribly. I do think that people are responsible for their own individual actions. But you come in under the guise of a curse or under the guise of whatever you want to come under. No one knows who you are.
We like it that way.
I look you. So how are you stronger? People just think the world turned on them and they're just scared of the world now, so why wouldn't they want to hurt the world? Because, like your badger friend, people want to hurt the things they don't know. So how are you becoming stronger? How effective are you? I agree. And I would love to fight aside you and make people behave better and not abuse the things that the earth gives us, that the world gives us. But not telling people what they do is wrong and just hurting them doesn't make you stronger. It makes your case far weaker.
The wolf seems to get... The wolf and the badger, particularly, are just getting... You're nameless, you're getting the very real sense of, like... They're not happy. They're getting very angry. And the deer... I'm only letting you...
No, I'm just curious. Am I also gathering that they're wild shaping? Like I did with the elephant?
You're feeling more of a presence akin to panther.
Oh, okay, cool.
And, the deer... Before this gets much more down the path of where I see you going, Sarek, perhaps it's better to take a short recess. And the wolf. Very well. You will keep your binds. You are free to move. We will come back shortly. He turns around and goes back under the tree. Same meaning with the badger. A hawk and the sparrow kind of fly off. But the deer stays. She sort of... Oh, come along.
I see.
I come along.
She walks
How are we
forward.
doing?
How are you doing?
In
Like
the
in your-
judgment thing.
Not great.
Sorry.
No, it's not great because you have opinions.
It's a first for me.
Yeah. Such is the way of a chaotic world. Oh,
May I ask how we're not doing great then?
well, you stand in opposition of what we desire. She's sort of leading you around the village as well. Just kind of directing you towards certain areas. And she takes you to this sort of small garden. I let whatever desires to grow here grow. And looking out to the garden is just sort of a spattering of different various weeds. There are a few sort of like There's like a rutabaga. There's, there's all these assortments of things, and then there's this little patch of like wildflower. She says they don't always get along, and it can be hard work to tend it. Sometimes. And she sort of, with her mouth, just kind of crumps up a whole big weed, rips it from the ground, and just spits it to the side. You have to cull it. And weed it out.
But did that not have a desire to grow there too?
It does.
So, doesn't that kind of defeat your purpose?
Was the weed growing near anything?
Yes.
What was around it?
The wildflower.
The weed would have overtaken the flower. Yes, it would have stopped it from growing.
It certainly would have used very similar resources.
But what if you had torn the wildflower out along with the weed?
I could have. You're right. I could have taken out the wildflower and left the weed.
My question still stands, though. Why are you taking out anything if that's the Earth's intent?
It's all we are is intention. Choice. I chose to do it.
And so you are smarter than the Earth itself?
No.
The Earth chose to make it grow.
Sure.
You said you would let grow whatever grew there, no?
But I also have the choice to take it out.
Thus making what you would consider a wiser choice?
No, just a choice.
The weed didn't choose to grow there.
Correct. And you see her pick up the weed, walk about 10 feet, and then put the weed in, and like... But if I ask it to grow here...
These choices are made with an intent. You wanted to remove that weed. It required precision. It required careful movement and thought. If you wanted to see the actual result that you were hoping to see. We are creatures of choice, but when we make choices that affect other things, other living things, it's important that we take care with the way those things are done.
Mostly.
The methodology of your group doesn't seem to match your stated goals, and it's bothering me.
That's what I was thinking.
What makes you certain that your methodology is doing anything towards reaching your goals?
We certainly see it affect a greater number than when we were using less forceful methods.
In a positive way? What positive changes have you brought about? That's what we were trying to ask your whole group, and we didn't really hear examples of it. You can make changes, yes. You can change things. You can start wars that will ravage the earth and the people. That is a change. It doesn't seem to be a change towards what you want. A war doesn't create an anarchy in the end, it creates different territory lines.
Correct.
That's a net zero change in regards to whatever your stated goals seem to be.
What happens in a war where it doesn't end with territory lines?
One nation entirely eradicates
No
and takes
nation.
over another. You're talking about a war where every single person dies.
No, I'm talking about a war where no nation survives.
People build more nations. That's how we have the nations we have now.
I see a world without them.
What does it look like? Because your group here has structure, has rules that you follow. Will you disband when this is found?
The rules are convenient for us.
Yes, rules are convenient for them as well. Like I said, anarchy is only freedom for the strong, but the weak don't take it lying down.
Then they
You make
become
anarchy.
stronger.
No, what they do is they gather.
And
And then
unify, sure.
their group is as strong as a strong individual. And then the individuals, the strong individuals,
We're not
create a
against
group.
groups. We are not against the unity of people. What we are against is nations. What we're against is the collective power and greed and pettiness that comes with saying, this is our border, do not cross it, it is ours.
There's an
The
irony
ownership
there.
of land.
As someone who's chained for being a trespasser, there's an irony to your statement.
I can't disagree there. But
The thing is, if you hit this restart and there are no nations, for now there will be, because people want protection, they want to feel safe, and there will be nations again, and then you do your thing and you reset it and there are nations again. What is the point?
The more they fear, the more willing they'll be to give up their individual freedoms for protection.
Exactly.
An attack like Korhal, having been in that nation, I can tell you all it did was give more power to the people in charge.
Yeah.
It helped them justify taking more restrictive actions against the people. It resulted in firmer borders. It resulted in interrupting talks that hopefully would have gone towards creating a more autonomous society. It actively worked against peace talks.
And you can't stop people from creating nations because people want safety, and that's what they're hoping for. If you wanted to change the way people interact with the world, you should change the way those nations function. You can't kill people into changing their ways or changing their mind or changing their choices. I'm hoping you can talk people into doing those things, clearly. I know it has a higher success rate than killing it into them. I understand if I understand in the past when I have felt helpless doing any action felt like something towards my goals. If that's what you guys are doing, I get the compulsion, but nothing that it seems that you are doing seems to lead towards what you want. Nothing that I've heard of you doing in the past seems to have led towards what you want. And I recently heard a definition of lunacy which starts to ring familiar.
I cannot argue against you. Because I don't understand it. I don't understand why someone would want one person or a group of people to dictate what they can and can't do.
You say that as part of the group that helps to dictate what another group does. You say that from a...
We're trying to
From
release
a
the
large-
world of those choices.
You're trying to make the choice for them to release those choices. You doing what you're doing
We
is
want to
trying
remove
to make
those
choices.
who make those choices.
Are you not then making the choice?
No.
Are you not then the choice maker?
No.
How not?
How so? You chose to move the flower, or
Yes.
keep the flower and move the weed.
Yes.
Are you not then making the choice for the weed?
The weed can still grow
That's not the
in
question
the
I
middle
asked.
of the wildflower.
That was not the question I asked. I'd like you to answer my own question. I've asked questions that have just gotten sidestepped. So please answer the question. Did you not make the choice where that weed is going to grow?
Yes, I did.
So then are you not a choice maker
I am.
for something else?
Yes.
So should you not be taken down?
I can be.
Not the question I asked. Should you?
Should.
By your logic and stated intentions.
Certainly. Would you like to take me down?
No. We're not you.
It's not our goal.
Let me ask you, then, counter question. Why do you accept what nations choose for you?
We don't.
Don't you? You use money, you buy things, you listen to their rules in their cities, you follow their guidelines, you say, I won't step in here, I won't step over there.
First of all, we've never done that.
I think you have a very limited view of our group's activities.
You guys clearly didn't read us
Do
correctly.
your
'cause-
homework. Yeah.
It's
But also, I make my own choices. Yes, maybe I do use money. Maybe I do follow rules put in place half of the time. But I make my choices for me. If Nameless wants to go do something, I'm not going to stop her. That's her choice. If Liam wants to build something, that's his choice. If Philip wants to worship whoever he wants to worship and it differs from me, which it does, that's his choice. But I am not a god. I do not decide who gets to live and who gets to die and where they get to do either of those things. And you are playing God, and that is not your job.
I would argue they're not playing God. This isn't what the gods have done. That's what I find so peculiar about living in the Feywild, and yet the entire reason the Prime Material exists the way it does is to help enable and empower. That's the entire reason they made that sacrifice.
And what if they were wrong?
now they're playing God.
I thought you don't live in the what ifs, just the what is.
It's true.
So then why are you asking?
I thought it was fun.
It is what it is.
I'm not
Oh,
laughing.
Hilarious.
What I'll say is this. You have had the luxury of getting to be in a place that is entirely your own. You are allowed to form the society with the rules that you wanted here.
And we want to share that with the world.
But you're not in that world. You elect not to be in that world. You elect not to understand the struggles that they felt. You elect to be free from the sorts of experiences that have led them to choosing to opt into systems that may not be optimal for them, and they may want them to be better, but the alternative is worse. If you want people to have the same freedom that you have, which I I fully believe you have benevolent intentions.
Things
The
come
work-
and go, and things die and live.
They do.
We have no. Mean this as respectfully as possible. We have no remorse for the actions in court.
I'm not asking for remorse. I'm asking for you to think about the kind of world that you want to see. And I also want you to think about how much of that world should be up to you in the first place. Are you going to go out and live in those places? Is anybody here going to go do that?
Yes.
Have they been doing so?
No. Not yet.
So you're judging based off of assumptions.
I suppose.
Well,
that
as
not
someone
what
who's been
is?
out,
Well, we know what is.
No,
Oh.
you don't. That's the
There's-
hilarious part, is you're assuming things, which you just admitted to, which is a what if. So what if this happens, not what is happening. Because you're not there.
Well, what is happening? We can instantly know.
well, would you like me to tell you what's happening? Because I can tell you.
No, I don't want to know because
Well,
we already
act-
do.
No, you don't. No, you do not. You are assuming.
Allow
as
me
you-
to pause you.
No, because I'm going to make my choice for myself.
Just be aware you are in a very delicate situation.
That's never stopped me from making stupid decisions before. It's certainly not going to stop me now.
I'd hope it would, because currently I am the only thing keeping you all alive. I am not.
There-
And she comes in closer and starts to whisper. I am not your enemy.
Okay. Can I finish?
If you would
Because it's
like.
not. Thank you. It's. What is going on in the world is that people are learning. People are making mistakes. People are growing. People are doing the best they can with what they have. Not everyone is as fortunate as you to have this beautiful place around them to thrive in. I certainly didn't grow up somewhere like that. But I changed my life because I wanted to, not because someone told me to, because I wanted to. I'm not perfect. I just told you I do stupid things all the time. But do I deserve to die because I make mistakes? No. Do you deserve to die because you've made mistakes in the past? Absolutely not. Nobody in this area deserves to die. And the fact that you are choosing, not you specifically, but the fact that you are all choosing to enact judgment on people you know nothing about, is not smart. It does not make you heroes. It does not make you benevolent. You hurt an entire town, and who knows how many other towns, because they probably have relatives in other places. You have hurt an exponential amount of people. And you don't feel, which again, as Philip stated, we are not asking you to feel remorse, but you feel nothing. Nothing but the fact that you want to go and do it again. You are not striving for a more perfect, more caring world. Because what you're doing is going to do the exact opposite if you continue.
Well, we never said we wanted to make a more caring world.
On the point you raised, you being the one keeping us alive, I've been intentionally not thinking about or talking about that bit of the situation. This isn't our first rodeo in terms of a situation vaguely similar to this. In my past experiences, someone has you in their power, under their whim, and there have been times when it's been a threat assessment. Is it safe to let this person go? But generally speaking, it's not that. Generally speaking, is there a benefit to us as the group who have power over these people? Is there a benefit to us to not killing them? I'm not certain that is what it is up to for you and your group, but generally speaking, a lot of times that ends up being what it is. I am enjoying is the wrong word, but I am very interested in the the bigger discussions we've had in regards to nations and intent and goals and achieving them. I like having that conversation, but it does very little towards actually discussing whether or not we can be of benefit to you. Another part of that is knowing your group's actions in the past and my particular stated thoughts on how effective I think they are towards their goal. I'm not entirely sure that I would want to be of benefit to you if those were the actions you needed that would allow you to keep us alive. Basically what I'm saying is you're keeping us alive for now, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm enjoying the conversation greatly, but I've avoided that bit of the conversation for a while now because I don't see a situation where it lasts very long. You guys seem to have a pretty good idea what you want, how you're going to get there. I'd love to talk to you about that till the end of time. But unless we suddenly fundamentally change that about you and your group in however long you let us talk till we're dead, then we're going to be dead. So if I'm wrong on any particular count, or if there is something we can do or should do that would lead to an amicable ending to this, I'm all ears. But given my past experiences, not really seeing a way out of this one, guys. And, we've gone off on a lot of adventures, and I'm willing to go down fighting, helping a friend, nameless. I felt vaguely prepared to die for a while now, so I'm pretty okay with it if that's how this goes down. But if any of you, my group, or you, are benefactor in regards to our fate, have any thoughts or ideas, I guess we could discuss them now before we're in front of the tribunal again.
I just want to say that I don't want them to die. I don't deal as well with the whole no remorse thing. And I feel like I'd feel a lot of remorse for their deaths being on my hand.
I think it's pretty unlikely that you'd be feeling it for very long, at least. Were that the case?
I don't believe in that.
He's
I think
saying you
we
died
went-
too.
I understand, but I also believe that our spirits go into something else.
Who taught you that?
That's why my mom.
You know, she was a very good friend. And you seem to have found some very good friends yourself. It's nice. It's helpful in these moments to have friends. Sometimes I forget when I look out at my garden what friends were like. And then I just look to the cottage at the end of the hill and remember good friends can be found anywhere. Yeah, that was my stomach. Wow. Yeah. In Corvan, you have been decidedly quiet. Which is telling. But I digress. I suppose I'll see you at the tree. And I just wish I had friends again. You've given me much to think about. I just have to go. I must go think to myself for a little while. Please, don't leave the garden. She walks away.
Well, that's all I want to do is leave the garden.
No, you're not allowed to make those choices. That's not free will.
I think you're supposed to.
I know! In character, I would like to leave the garden.
Said after the deer left, right?
I think that might be
Yeah.
a bad idea.
That's your wrong eye.
Particularly-
I don't know if you can wink with that. Yeah, yeah.
Bad
Whichever
idea.
one it is.
I think hey, Liam just looks like he's blinking at you. I particularly don't think you should check out the cottage at the end of the path for old friends.
What? How far away is this path? / cottage?
You see it kind of again. This cottage is like at the crest of the hill, and it is not very far from the garden itself. Maybe like 300 feet, like a football field away. The cottage itself currently has smoke going.
I want to put I'm assuming that we're bound separately, correct?
Yeah, you guys all
Not like
independently.
chain gang. So I want to like put my hands together and try to cast guidance on myself and see what happens.
Well, your hands are bound, so it's hard to do somatic components when your hands are bound.
I don't. Okay.
Like you're, it's not just finger motions, right? It's being able to sweep your, it's I don't
I can't
care.
even
You
cast-
have guidance.
I can't even. I
don't
can't even
care.
cast magic missile. I don't
You
know.
can do it.
So-
You're not fully restrained. Whatever. Like what?
She
who
does
gives
it with
a
her
shit?
I
feet.
don't have to
Who
be
gives a
magic.
shit?
foot somatic
No, I'm
compliance.
just trying to say, like, who gives a shit at the end of the day? It's guidance. Like, what am I? Like, I'm not. You're not like I cast thundercloud. You know, like you're not like trying to cast like a big spell. Who gives
I cast Wish
a shit?
with my feet.
Oh, toe wizard would be great.
Toe Wizard would be amazing.
I hate the words together.
a whole feet. A whole feet for your feet.
Yeah.
A whole, though it suddenly becomes way cuter just adding a D, because a toad wizard, totally on board, totally for it.
Yeah.
Although, if you're just adding a D onto the end of it, it's TOED Wizard, so then it's kind of
So
like
it's
he's got
still-
extra toes,
Yeah.
or he's been
A
toed.
toad wizard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
yeah.
Quick question
Sure.
though. No, this is in character. Very quick. My assessment of our situation. Anyone have another viewpoint I'm not seeing? I know I can be kind of narrow in my
Why?
views. Yeah.
I think the only play is to convince them that it's in their interest to see if our method works for their ends.
Did
Guidance.
Alright.
work? Did it work?
Yeah.
I didn't know if the chains would like make me not be able to do spells. This was me checking.
Okay. You now have guidance.
Oh, I don't care what I have. It was just
Oh,
something
it
I
was
wasn't
not
gonna
okay.
see.
Yeah.
It literally was just so I could see if I could do magic.
I love that you
but I
could
didn't
have
wanna,
done
do
like
it Thorn Whip.
produce flame, which would have been a lot simpler, and a cantrip.
So is
Guidance is also
so
a cantrip.
is guidance also a cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't want to
And
produce flame
invisible.
and then like them come in like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
She's got a fire!
Anyway, yes, your magic still works.
I would really like if you guys didn't die. Panther included. So
I think I can get behind that.
But I don't know how to guarantee that. So maybe I shouldn't have agreed to us being chained. But I don't know if maybe you guys could like. Did the raids close as we walked in?
Yeah.
Running out
I
of the
don't know.
Feywild. Running out of the Feywild would be incredibly difficult, and we'd be at a serious disadvantage. So I don't think
I
running
can-
is going to be an option.
I cannot drive
Got it.
pangolin like this.
I don't know. what
Listen,
to do.
if we'd have fought them, we would have died. If they'd have dragged us, we'd be in the same situation, but with less goodwill. I know we have very little, but we can't even less. It was the right call. You made the right decision.
We just need to think about what they want, the way it lines up with what we want, and be careful about the way we talk.
But
I'll try to be quieter from now on, then.
I struggle because part of me likes what they're saying.
I think that's
Not
I think
against their
that's the point.
goals.
You want the same thing. You just don't want it done their way. I don't think that's a bad line of argument. And I'd argue that's the evidence you've been given.
But also, I'm going to tell you all now something since it was already told for me. I met a person in a place in the expanse. That was terrible English, Chelsea. Philip thinks it might have been Balinor. I don't know. They didn't, like, have a card or anything.
Hardly anyone does.
I know. But I also don't really care about that. But they're in the... I don't even know if it's a vision or if I was really there. Felt pretty real. There was a reddish wolf that I hugged. Doesn't sound very climactic, I'm aware, but it was. Because then it turned into me. And then I came back here. And I've been dealing with that. And by dealing, I mean figuring it out. I didn't want to tell you guys because I don't know it yet. I don't know what it means yet, so. And I don't want you guys to spend time figuring it out, but since, you know, someone just decided to say something out loud to some random stranger people, I thought maybe the people who I'm close to should know too.
Fair enough. It sounds mostly like gibberish to me. So, thank you for letting me know. And don't worry, I probably won't be figuring that one out.
Saying.
If anything, it's the reason why I'm confident you can get us through this.
Because I can't figure things out? I can't figure out this, like, weird thing?
No, because he tested your intent and you showed him.
Okay, well, that's cool. You are reading into a vision thingy that I had that you don't even know if it's what had actually happened.
Was there a particularly special...
It could have been a mystery man dressed like a god.
Was there a particularly special looking tree there? A particularly large tree?
Reading into things is kind of what Philip does these days. It's weird.
I don't know. It was like a foresty kind of area, and then a meadow, and then a stream, and then a wolf.
All I'm saying is, so far it's all checked out.
If you find a river, we're halfway to Grandma's house.
Wait, what is checked out?
It certainly sounds like you went to a place where Balinor would be. If there was... The only thing I can think of that you haven't described so far would have been if you saw the World Tree.
I don't think I did, but let me double check my notes.
Yeah, it's right. We called it something different.
It's the multiplicitous tree.
Multiplicitous tree. Yeah.
No, I just
I imagine your notebook is bark with leaves inside, and you scribble on them with like a white wax pencil. You're just like shuffling through leaves, and then oh shoot, some of these fell out.
Oh, this one was from my prom.
You have a sticky note of like little like fall leaves with like slug goo on top. All right. That's becoming unsticky. I just where's a there's a slug.
Just reapply.
Slug on.
That's good. All right.
Apply directly to forehead.
Man, I want one of these notebooks now in real life. Sounds awesome. Shoot.
Sounds messy as fuck, but like...
Yeah, but like aesthetically, I'm very into it. Like a woodsy, cluttered mess. Yes.
Chelsea, do you have something else to say? If not, I'm gonna take us to break.
I have a quick thing. It kind of... There was something that you said, Liam, about people, the weak becoming stronger by joining together. So at the end of this dream thing, I was transported back, and, let's call him Balinor for the sake of that, said that I had made an interesting choice, and that maybe I could imagine how many other wolves could be changed. maybe, I don't know, maybe we're supposed to make the weak into one strong, and maybe we just, like, plant seeds. Like, we stick around. I go to the cabin in the woods. I don't know, but...
Point of fact, by the way, the cottage is still within the barrier of the town.
I know.
Okay,
I wanted
no,
to say
let's-
cabin in the woods.
Okay. I was just making sure.
The cabin not in the woods. Cottage in the non-woods.
It's my favorite horror film. It's more of an homage to horror films.
Yeah.
Cottage on the path.
It's an homage to an homage.
Cottage near the
Yeah.
river.
Cottage near the river. Duplex down the street.
But maybe
An
that will help
homage
us
to
stay alive a little bit longer.
All I know is, if anybody is able to pull us through, it's you. And whatever you decide to do, trust yourself and do it 100%.
I don't think we should say things like that. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that tracks. That sounds reasonable, actually.
I know, but I also think you can handle that pressure. We'll table it for now. But if it comes up,
Know that I trust you. Alright. With that, we will go to break. And we will see you all back here very soon. This is going exactly as I want it to.
No.
Or is it?
Fool you. We'll never know
8
because
miles
we
into
made
angry
the choice.
discussion, check.
get
Jackie, outrage.
Like-
Yes.
Yes.
Make
Like
Chelsea say
clockwork.
unintelligible sentences. Check. And
You didn't
we
have
got-
to try hard. Let's
Get
be
me.
real.
get nameless.
I
mad
mean,
at
none
Philip.
of these things on the list are difficult.
Get nameless mad
Yeah.
at Philip. Check. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's on Philip's list.
Yeah, that's
I
I feel like that was. I didn't even have that on my. Yeah, that's weird. I didn't even know I wanted that.
Bingo!
See
Hey
you guys
everybody, we'll see you again soon in like 15 minutes. I don't mean to say it like it's a goodbye. Like we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We're the Natural Ones. We're here to bring you the second part of episode 45. We don't have a title for it yet. Let's.
This episode?
Yeah, this episode we don't have one yet, so don't make one, please. We're gonna jump right back into it. You have been left alone by the garden. Well, she didn't say her name, so the deer. The deer has walked away.
We have
I was
no
gonna
idea.
ask her.
You have no idea what her name
Yeah!
is.
That's the name of the Ezopone.
I guess that's how we're using the first minute back. Good.
Gotta
It's
reel
typical.
him in with my
Honestly,
jokes.
it's not anything out of line from what we usually do. So I leave it to you. You have been you're unguarded currently. What would you like to do?
Hey, really any one of you, could one of you go into my bag and get the chime of opening, please?
Well, you can easily do that. Like you can.
Oh, okay.
The binds
Just
themselves
kidding.
are.
Just kidding, I'm an independent woman. Haha. Fuck you all. Got it.
You take out the chime of opening.
And then I'm gonna walk up to name. Well, I'm gonna stay where I am because I actually Nameless. Can you put your hands out for me? But like, do it so that I can see like the latch of the bindings, if there is one.
I can do that, yes. However, may I ask why?
Yes, this is supposed to open things, and I want to see if it works. If it'll unbind us.
Oh.
At
Okay.
least for the time being, without destroying them, so that we can go back into them once we are back at the thing.
When they put it on, was it like through magic, or like how was it put on?
It was a clasp. It has sort of like a, like the like child safety lock, essentially, kind of a thing.
That's why I can't get it open.
It's like that's
I'm a
all I
child.
mean to say is like it has a hook. It has a hook that it just latches in. It's not like a key or anything like that. It's just
So, if one of us just walked over, could we just like unlatch it from each other?
no. Again, like Charles said, it's like it's not meant to pull back.
It's like a zip tie
Yeah.
kind of thing. Cool.
Okay.
I don't mind being the guinea pig in this situation where you try my things. I don't really need them off though. I don't plan on doing anything really.
Oh, okay. I just
But
figured
do you-
maybe we
would
all
you
wouldn't
like-
want. No, I mean if you're
I
all
just-
going to keep them on, then
How
I
many
can keep mine
times
on.
can you do that?
I think it's 10. I think I have 10 charges on it. Let me look at it. It's in my... Let me check my handy-dandy notebook that I also have in my bag.
We just gotta let
Fairly certain you're correct. It's like 10 charges.
It is 10! Oh god, Lolly is... Good job, girlfriend, as she takes both of her hands and pats herself on the back.
You know, if it comes down
I
to
just-
trying.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think we need it right now, because I feel like if I'm just seen gallivanting around town without my, shackles, it might be a little weird.
Okay, well then, actually, can you... And I'll hand it to her. Can you at least try it in case we actually need to unlatch
Yeah.
ourselves?
Yeah, I also don't mind, that's what I was saying, I don't mind being the guinea pig.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you have more than one, like, yeah.
Yeah, no, here, you take it, and then I will...
Oh. Do I just
Actually,
hit it?
I mean,
what do
yeah.
I do?
Yeah, you
It's
just
a
hit
chime.
it and point it.
Does
Right?
this
It's
have
a,
to be
it's a thin
attuned
piece
to me?
of metal. No, it is not an
Okay.
attuned item.
Ding.
It's like a tuning fork.
Yeah.
So you're finding the right key.
Ding.
And you see her bindings unlatch.
Okay, great. So we know it works. Liam,
Yeah.
can you... Thank you. Thanks. All right. Thank you, Nameless. That was great. We know it works. Now we got a plan B. Okay. So that cabin, right?
It's more of a cottage in a path, but yes, that's what I would like to go to it.
I think is that going to be? That seems like a. You go check it out. We'd be here non-suspicious like. Or would you like someone or all of us to come with?
Is it close enough that we can easily see it from here?
Yeah, like I said, it's like a football field away.
Okay, so we can close that in a couple seconds if we need to.
Well,
I will go alone, I guess.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I have the sending stone.
Well, let us know if you need any help.
Where'd you get
I
those
was
cards?
thinking more.
It's a
I was
sending
thinking
stone.
more if they start coming back, maybe you could let me know.
Also that. It's a
Okay.
flip sending stone. It's a flip stone.
Oh,
Need
is that
the
the
flip
new
stone.
razor?
Cool.
Is that the new razor sending stone? I heard a lot about those.
it's thin. It fits in your pocket.
Honestly, it's great. It's a great, but it also works great for rock skipping. You ever by the river?
I like
I send
ice.
my stone.
Bet on it.
I send my stone.
Flip stone. Need the flip stone.
I'm working on developing something that's a little more intelligent. I was thinking about calling it an intelligent stone.
Ice stone.
You could call it the ice stone for short.
No, that's this guy.
Love it. Want it to happen. Make it happen.
Desert stone.
So
Intelligent
yeah.
stone doesn't really ring. Maybe smart stone.
Smart stone. Sure. It's good. Yeah, you can just work in technology that you have in the mansion.
Alright, so we will let you know. We
What if
will
we just
be
put a
here.
mirror on there? Okay.
And I guess if you need any of us, just let us know.
Okay. Don't do stupid things. Bye. And then I go leave.
Them?
Does Panther go with her, or does he stay with us?
He looks to you for that decision.
Would like you to come and meet and return with me. I would like you to come, yes, Panther, please.
Okay.
And maybe you can tell me later what they were talking about. About me not knowing the whole story.
I'll do what I can.
Fair.
Let's go.
We walk.
I walk. So the two of you, go ahead and give me a stealth check to see, like...
Pooper toopers.
It's not like an open field, but like if you're trying to do it subtly and try to get over there, you know, unnoticed.
Do I have to do one for both of us? Probably, right? Yeah, that's unfortunate.
No, we'll just make it general. We'll just make it general and the two of you working together.
A dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, the two of you working together without anybody else makes you guys kind of a unit. You know, it's much like it used to always be. So less thought has to go into it. It's like second nature for the two of you to move together. You make it to the cottage, no problem. Nobody seems to notice you. You guys even kind of lose track of them until you see her, like, reach the cottage. And, again, you see smoke coming from the stack on the cottage. It's midday, you know, so, or, you know, close to evening. So, there are
there
some
windows?
Yeah, there are some windows around that you can kind of peek through.
I would like to do that.
You see a very tall figure, older male with sort of like grayed hair, kind of walk around this very pale gray skin as well, like complexion. And there's a very big beard. And that's not something you're used to. Because sort of hidden beneath that beard, you can tell it's Herrick.
Emphasis on the hair, am I right?
You do notice he seems to have... He's got his usual just sort of basic tunic. You do see bruises kind of on one arm. You see a couple, you know, like a black eye and some specific zones that seem to be pain points. And you see him kind of move around a little bit sore. But he seems to just kind of be in the middle of making dinner.
I don't want to use that spell yet, I don't think, but I guess I'm going to. Panther. We could just go through the door, or I could polymorph you into my pocket, and then I could go in there with Misty Step. I don't know if he can open the door. But it's Herrick.
You might as well knock. See if you can. I think we should save everything we have.
That's probably smarter. I'm nervous. Sorry.
It's fine. You can go in alone if
Anyway.
you want.
No, you're as much. You were there too. I go to the door and knock.
You hear kind of a... The door opens. He looks down at you.
Hi.
Come in.
Good to see you too. Yep. And I walk in.
He shuts the door. It is good to see you. Are you hungry?
I'm going to run and just give him a hug. I thought you might have been dead.
Could have been.
Why? What do you mean?
Are you hungry?
Not terribly. I think that being chained up has a deterrent for hunger.
Oh yeah, you would think. He kind of points to his wrist, and you see, not bound, but you do see these two slightly different. It seems like same material, but there are runes sort of like crafted into it. He's like, yeah, you'd think. But he
Why are
makes
you
his
here?
well, she all right. You know, there's things that happen, and I'm glad Panther's with you still. It's good. It's good.
I know he's my dad now.
Hmm.
I'm still getting used to that,
Okay.
but I do know that.
All right. Guess that makes this a little bit quicker then. I'm just gonna eat. I'm gonna eat. If yeah, I'm gonna eat. Like keeps making his
Okay.
food.
Are you? Could you tell me more? Could you finish your sentences?
Yeah. Yeah. So. So she showed up. I'm sure you saw.
Who?
Arl. She. She's a good soldier, if you want to say it that way.
I would prefer to not compliment her whatsoever.
She was looking for you.
Why? Why? I don't matter. I'm just here learning some magic from you and eating some meat with Panther.
You know, kid, we don't always get to choose Your mom had a gift, if you will. It falls upon some in our community. But I escaped here.
You escaped here?
Yeah.
You came here by choice?
Yes. Still had one of my leaves. So.
Wait. Why here? Isn't she one of them?
Not for a while.
So who is she being a good soldier for then?
Some other interested parties. I don't entirely know. But some signs have pointed towards a Lolian elite. They're looking to start a war.
So are the... What did you have to do with Korhal?
What do you mean?
Well, I told the people I wanted to... Well, the animals, I guess. That I was here to rescue you. And, they found that kind of hard to believe, given Korhal.
Yeah. I was one of the people who put it there. You don't need to forgive me, kid.
I don't.
Yeah.
Did they force you to? Did they make you do it? Did they... You're bound here. I thought you escaped here. So tell me, like, what are the bounds for? Did they make you do it?
We all have our choices, kid.
So what do the binds do? Do they make you think different thoughts and you chose that because they made you choose it? Like what?
No. We just all have our own choices. And we protect what we want protected.
So you don't care about me?
I do.
You almost killed me.
I killed the town for you. Doesn't justify it. Just choices. You shouldn't have come here.
You could have written or something.
No. The whole point of this was to keep you away from them, to keep you away from her. And that's what she asked me to do.
Who?
Your mom.
The more I find out about my mom, the less I feel like I knew her. The less I feel like I know everyone who's around me. You're supposed to be this pillar of goodness in my life, and you're a terrorist.
Yeah.
And you say it like it's okay.
It's not. I'm just not gonna lie to you. Not anymore.
Then what do the binds do? What are you bound? Why are you bound here?
He kind of like opens the door. He doesn't get to leave. He shuts it.
But I thought you chose to be here.
No, Arwen found me. Which means she was gonna find you. So, I left. It was the only choice. It wasn't strong enough to fend her off, so she had help.
So she brought you here?
No, I did.
But then why I don't get it.
She can't come here. I figured I
Okay,
could
but
at
I'm
least
here
talk
now,
my way
so
out of it with them. I could at least talk my way out of it with the wolves. I couldn't talk my way out of it with Arwen.
but you talked your way out of nothing. You're stuck here and doing terrible things. And I came to rescue you.
Yeah.
And I put my friends' lives in jeopardy. For you. And you don't even seem happy to see me. Or anything. And I feel so
petrified.
stupid. Well, how do you think I felt when I walked home and all of a sudden our house was on fire and knew nothing as to where you were? I spent the last however long thinking you were dead. But I kept searching because it's just, I don't know, I had hope. And then I saw you at one point, but not really for very long, but then, you know. And now I might die because of you. And 3 really good people might die because of you. Well, I brought friends. I have friends.
I gathered.
Yeah, it's just not very common for me. Perhaps you remember. I have grown a lot. Other ways I haven't.
And why'd you come for me?
Do you ever have
You
those
never needed
moments
me,
when you
kid.
feel really bad about being mad at someone for something and then you just realize that you just did exactly what that person was doing? Sorry, that was just an out loud thought. I came back because you're my family. And I wanted to be around my family. And
I wish I
you're
could be
right,
better,
Pat.
kid.
You can be. You said you chose to do that. You don't have to make those choices to murder several innocent people. You were gonna murder millions. And you
Yeah.
are okay with it.
If it protects the thing I love the most, then yeah.
It doesn't protect me, though. It doesn't protect me. Because I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go fight the stuff that you put out in the world. Because I am friends with 3 really stupid people, too, who do the same things. Because we want good for the world and for the people who live in it. And I don't want them to die. Any of them.
See?
So can I...
You better than me? I want to say something not too... I did this for my friends. He indicates towards Panther and my teacher. My family. Asked me a long time ago to give up everything to protect what was most precious to them. And I'm not denying anything. You're right. There were choices. Not good. Not by a long shot. But it kept you safe. Regardless of what you think. It kept you safe. Nameless, you are more. Your mother was one of them. I don't know if you've experienced this yet. And you see Panther say she has. She has. Right.
Can we enlighten the person we're all talking about? Because I don't know what I have.
Little patience. Yes, well,
I do have little patience right now, yes.
I mean, have a little patience with me.
I realize.
You're like, look, I know the intricacies of conversation. I've been doing it a lot lately. Herrick says, you're one of the Sylvain. It's those born of the Engmar. It's a gift. It pushes you beyond the limits. There are histories of it within the bounds of this forest. It speaks of the close ties of Corellan. Not any deep ties necessarily, but gifted individuals seen as of their image, able to push their druidic prowess to higher stature. Panther speaks of. She turned herself into a dragon on her first try.
I didn't
Risky.
want to brag.
Risky, but no way to go. So. It comes with a caveat. It can be permanent if used incorrectly. And
I could have been a forever dragon.
yeah. And it just makes you more valuable. So the wolves makes you a desirable general. I don't know. That's what Arwen wanted. Whoever she works for. They want the Sylvain. Sorry. Did my best to keep you from it. Not proud. Just also not sorry.
I was gonna give you this back. I'm gonna pull out the necklace with the ring. Because I thought it would be like a way to celebrate you being back. And then I was mad at you just now. I was like, I don't want to wear this anymore. But are you okay if I keep it for just a little bit longer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're here. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't want to be a bother. I just kind of wanted to just kind of live my life, hunt, gather, you know, the normal things.
They're anything but normal.
I know, I have a magical house. I've been telling a lot of people that, but I trust you, so it's okay. But I have a magical house. That's how we got here. That's how I saw you.
I see. You're dipping your toes in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah. I also might have spoken to a god. And so I thought maybe I could come here and like, save you, and I figured that it sounds so childish now, I'm realizing, that I could come here and win everyone over with my charm, and we could try to make it for a better world in a non-violent way. But, it does not seem like that is the case. We're under judgment by the leaders of your non-leader group. But it does not look good for us. So if it doesn't, you can have your ring back pretty soon. But,
If they kill you, they kill me.
you can't leave here.
Yeah.
Why would they want to keep you here?
When I came back, there was a period where it was not favorable. Over time, they learned that they learned about you. And so they've been waiting for this.
And I did exactly what they wanted.
So have I. You still have choices. You can still do whatever you want. Just know it'll be a hard-fought thing. Sarek doesn't like competition. He
If I
likes
take
knowing
him,
he's the strongest and the best.
could I take him down and then everyone will respect me and we can go away?
I don't think so. It's not how this works.
Right, you don't have
He might be
leaders.
he might be what amounts to the head of the order, the head of the circle, but he doesn't speak for everyone. And that might be your in. That might be your advantage. He doesn't speak for everyone.
I'm gonna try to get out of here alive. And when I do, I would like if you came with. We have a big house. You could live there with us. If Liam gets a door, I can get a bed for you.
Oh, well, there's still rooms.
Well, I didn't say I had to make it.
He says, I won't say no, kid.
So you say yes.
Yeah, I'll say yes.
Okay, I should probably go back before, they find me missing. I'm supposed to be in some garden. Do you have any, I guess, tips to winning people over here? Aside from my natural charm.
It's not about I'm right, you're wrong. It's about how are we both right. And don't piss off Baru.
That's the badger one.
Yeah.
I kind of might have messed that up, but I'll try to make amends.
It's really easy.
To make amends or make him mad?
Both.
Oh, what do we do to make amends?
Well, just cower a little anytime he makes a little strike at you.
Okay.
Feed into his ego.
We're all really good at that kind of thing, so... Okay. I'll be back. I hope.
One way or another.
I'm gonna let
You
you
can
eat
give me
now.
another hug. Yeah, we can hug.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt. I realize I can't really hug, but...
He genuinely embraces you this time. And as you make for the door, Panther's like, I'm just gonna need a second.
I was about to say you were very rude, but... I will give you a second.
You step out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's like a good 30 seconds. Then another minute.
I want to put my ear to the door.
Alright, give me a perception check.
Come on, natural 20. $22.
They seem to be kind of talking in hushed tones. But you kind of pick up... You pick up their discussion is dwelling on Arwen. And how Panther is saying in no small terms that it's like it doesn't matter what happens here today. She will be eviscerated. If I have to come back in another life, if I have to do whatever it takes. And Herrick sort of, not downplaying it, but certainly saying, like, well, you're kind of getting clouded again. This is sort of what we got into last time. Sort of why we got into our entire situation. She's out there right now waiting for you. You need to protect her. What has this all been about then? And Panther saying he's finally remembering more and more and more. And all the mistakes that were made. he's starting to remember whose fault it really is. And he doesn't want to live with that. And at that, the door opens. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of head?
Sleight of head check.
Oh no. 6.
You fall to the floor. Like, oh. Uh-huh. And Panther just kind of looks at you straight in the face. He steps forward. You guys leave the cottage. Go ahead and give me another stealth check for the two of you. Just one.
Ooh, 16.
A little less subtle this time, but certainly not getting any more than like a glance from a person or two. Like in your direction, just kind of like, huh. And then they move on. So that all took probably around 15, 20 minutes for all the rest of you kind of waiting. And you have Nameless and Panther come up to you. Is there anything you three want to discuss? I want to give you guys the option to discuss stuff while she was talking to them and
But thinking about getting like some kind
You
of
did
tiny. I've been thinking about getting some kind of like tiny jaunty hat. Do you think I could pull that off, or would it be too much with the eye patch?
Well, I think the problem is with your edgy hairstyle. It'd feel a little uneven if you had something on top of it.
I don't know. I
Alright.
feel like the clothes does not make the man makes the clothes. So I feel like
I do often make my own clothes, so you do have a point there.
you could probably I mean, I don't know like on an attractive level like what people would consider you, because I've never really like I don't really look at people like that, but like you're definitely like a solid like 7 out of 12, right? It's on the 12 scale.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. That's what Da always told me when I was growing up.
Yeah.
7 out of 12.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised that it's not lower now that I got the eye patch. But, you know, it works for some people.
In fact, I think that even makes it. Honestly, I would say a 9 now.
if that's going to be the discussion, then no. Nameless shows up with Panther, and you guys have a moment. At this moment, it feels like you guys have been alone for a very long time, and you're not certain. There was no mention of somebody coming back for you.
How far are we from the tree?
Not far, about equidistant to the cottage.
It's a good football field away. Okay. Can we see any movement over by there? Are they gathering, or...?
No particular movement that's not just like the village.
Okay.
There's many animals running about, you know, like it's people, animals, all these kind of things like conjoined together. So it's not a typical sort of environment.
Is there a snake? Kidding. I'm not gonna cast animal. Shit. Do you think maybe we're supposed to go back there by ourselves?
We were told not to leave the garden, so it seems weird, but maybe? I don't know.
But bigger question, Nameless. How was the cottage?
Was he okay?
Well, I did find him, yes. I learned some things that maybe I didn't want to learn. But I did learn that I think we have to Herrick said it's not about who's right and who's wrong, but how we're both right. And kind of playing into their egos a little bit. You know.
So maybe
I like how you locked your mouth and then you threw it into your mouth.
Magician never reveals a secret.
So maybe a thing like where we can help them achieve their goals just through less genocidal ways.
I'm not 100% sure. But I think we have to definitely be not so, loud.
I usually go with passionate, but that works too.
Well, I personally do not think that we said anything wrong, but I think that if we just maybe don't say those things that are correct, we will not upset people, so.
It's about the way that we frame the conversation.
Yeah, see, I don't understand that part of it, so I think that I'm just going to only speak when spoken to, and then try to only answer questions directly. Because otherwise I think I'm gonna say things that I don't really want to say, or shouldn't say. Because I think I'd like us to leave here alive. Oh, I also asked Herrick. Well, I did not really ask. I told him he would live with us afterwards. And I also, if we are gonna die, Liam, I'm really sorry for being mad at you. You followed me to find basically my dad. And, I was mad at you for wanting to stay with your family, but I think that I just put you all in jeopardy for that. And I do not think I was clinging on to my childhood, too. So I understand. So I'm sorry for yelling at you earlier, and also for being kind of grudgy towards you. Perhaps you didn't notice.
I didn't not notice.
You did not notice?
I appreciate... Yeah, I appreciate the apology. And... yeah.
Okay.
I also accept it. Sorry, I should probably be...
I assumed if you said thank you, you liked it, so I thank you for letting me know.
So, you want us to focus on getting out of here alive with Herrick? Is that what you want us to do?
Oh, I don't know. I think I really cannot, to quote our favorite wolves, I cannot play in the what ifs, just what is. And I don't know how the conversation's going to go. But right now my main priority is your safety. Not just yours, Phillips, but everybody's. I think they're going to want me alive. I could be wrong. But, I think we have to remember that to just kind of play the game for right now.
Okay.
Like, gesture everyone in closer. I have a what if I need to clarify what the plan is if it occurs. Then I'm going to gesture and talk pretty quietly.
if it comes down to getting out of here alive as our main objective, and something comes up in regards to becoming useful to them in order to do it, if they want us to do something for them, i.e. a terrorism, is the plan to lie, say we will, and run? Or what's the sitch there? Might be one of the easier ways to try and get out of here alive. It makes very little difference to them and what they're attempting. But should that come up, what's our plan? Do we stick to our guns and try and find a common ground or a new way for them to go about things, or do we cut and run and say we'll do a thing and then hope it doesn't bite us in the ass when we don't actually do a terror?
Well, if they come after us when we don't do it, they won't be on their home turf.
Yes.
It'd be easier to take the fight there than it would here.
Yeah.
Either way,
Maybe-
I think we're definitely not going to do it.
No.
Okay.
I think that if they present us something, such as that, maybe it will not be so direct as to, hey, put a plague in Core Hall, but maybe, like, get the job done, and we could figure out some way to do it in a way that doesn't... Because I do think that people in Core Hall were abusing the land, and that shouldn't happen. But they also didn't know. They didn't know different. So I say we accept it. And hopefully we can just, like, go home.
Okay.
Unless you guys want a big battle. I don't really want to fight though.
I would prefer that be the last option.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm, kind of tired, Feeling a little out of it. But they want to throw fists.
Okay.
Lolly, are you okay with that?
I think that maybe we, at first, if we are presented with something, bargain for a middle ground of sorts,
Okay.
and then if it comes down to it, then yeah. But I don't think running is the option. I think we have to find a way to do for middle ground. Because if we run, yeah, when they're not on their home turf, but we also might not be on ours because we don't really have one, and that won't put us at an advantage either.
Well,
So
the
it's just
problem the problem if we try to run away is that getting out of the Feywild is very difficult. It'll be much easier for them to track us down. They'll catch us easily.
I mean, I
No,
think
but
she...
in regards
Okay.
to if we take a job
Oh,
and then
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, we'll
Okay.
do the job, see you later, and then we run in that sense,
okay.
which we would, yeah.
Because
I think
you had
any fight-
said earlier they wouldn't be fighting on their home turf. And
Yes.
Yeah. Which, yeah, we don't necessarily have a field which gives us an advantage, but any field that doesn't put us at an active disadvantage the way this forest does would be something. Again, I do actually think the idea of showing a better way, if they did give us an objective as opposed to a mission and we could accomplish it in a better way,
We be the example.
yeah.
Panther speaks up. He says, "No, we could also apply for that."
Yeah.
I think that's where we start.
We offer a new path. We ask for a chance to prove it can work.
Nameless, you said you agree with the kind of world that they want. I firmly believe that. I understand where they're coming from. But I think you know, and you have the conviction to do it better. I think we just have to show them that.
Okay. I mean, I think they all do too. I think that, ironically, they're just kind of doing what they've been told by people who seem like they know what they're talking about. Because I could see myself getting swept up into this. I understand why my mom and dad would have. Are. So, I think it will be easier if we do not come at them aggressively, but more compassionately.
I agree.
Are we supposed to go talk to them now? Because I feel like the more we talk about it, the more I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think...
Because we keep seeming to go in circles about saying the same thing, but then not doing anything, and then, like, doing different things. And so.
I think we've said everything we need to, yeah. Maybe if the deer magically comes to get us in the next minute, we do that. If not, then we just go to the tree.
I think we could just go to the tree.
Okay, we can also do that.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, let's go to the tree.
You all make your way there. And as you stand in front of it, the sparrow and the hawk are already rested there in the branches. The deer sort of calmly waiting. The badger and the wolf sit, waiting.
I'm gonna kneel when I get there.
And that's where we're going to
Same.
call it.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We will see you next week for the conclusion of this. I'm very excited to see where this can go. Now you guys actually get like a week to maybe talk to each other and say like how should we attack this. But
Wait, we're attacking it?
Yeah.
Oh.
The tree's evil.
Oh.
It's very evil. You feel the evil. So you all should have a great week, and we will see you on the next one, whenever that happens. What?
Nothing. I'm just still doing the impression.
But we're very excited. Thanks so much for stopping by still, and eventually I'm gonna get this fucking fixed, because Jesus.
I like it, honestly.
Same.
It's pretty wild and crazy.
It feels like a cartoon character. Like
Dude,
a
wow.
Wild and crazy hair.
Yeah, I mean, Ame will, Ame knows what it is.
It's big Johnny Test energy.
Muppet.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
I was thinking vaguely like Powerline-ish. I don't know.
Semi.
Or
This is more
Eraserhead.
like Greaser Elvis style thing.
Eraserhead. My
but,
favorite
like,
cartoon, Eraserhead.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, everybody.
Honestly, if you give us 3/4
Thank you.
profile, Timmy Turner vibes.
Yeah.
I just want this to end.
Yep. All right.
Is that,
Okay, bye,
do you have-
everyone.
If you put it all forward, Dexter's Lab.
And you need just a little
Hey.
little
Farewell.
Oh, did they?
Thank you so much, y'all.